Hey y'all, I'm Shayna. I'm back with another review. This is for Ready to Love Season 10, Episode 4, Poly Pool Party or something like child. It's the episode where they was getting in that Airbnb pool. But we gonna get into it, okay? I always forget, so let me just say it now. If you enjoyed this type of content, you like this video, be sure to check out my other content. Like the video, please like, drop a comment. Let me know you stopped by. I always respond. Be sure to check out and subscribe to my backup channel, Shayna_MCD TV. I will link that in the description. So please, let's run the subs up, run the likes up. But I am working on getting this channel remonetized, so I need y'all help. It's free 99, and I appreciate it. I really, truly do. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh, and if you missed it, check out my community tab. Any collaborations I'm doing, anything you may have missed is going to be mentioned over there. So we start with the men entering the vault. I'm so used to saying the lounge, but baby, we in the vault, okay? Because we got to lock that door shut tight to keep them secrets in. Y'all was running our mouth too much when we was chilling in the lounge. We got to be in the vault. And I wrote this all throughout, but I just want to say that Cisco and Eddie, honey, chef's kiss, okay? Like, the guys are giving something this season. They giving something this season, but Cisco and Eddie are my top two. Who's y'all top? Let me know. Cause I don't know. Eddie fine now. But then Cisco is too, and he got the salt and pepper, which is more my speed nowadays. Anywho. So Tommy tells the men the rules because it's their first time. What happens in the vault stays in the vault. Is going to leave the vault. Somebody going to run their loose lips. It happens every time. Tommy tells the fellas that the task for the week is to let the ladies dive deeper, show them places that matter to you. We do this every season. But if you're new here, they show places that don't really matter to them and places they don't actually live. But, that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. So Naeem invited Fritz, Callie, Deanna, True, and Sahara to his gym. Get your free advertisement on. I ain't mad at it. True was late, and Naeem was feeling away about her being late, especially because, this is his gym. Like, this is his thing. Even though I honestly thought we were done with these two last week. So the fact that we are like rehashing everything again this week has me confused, but okay. I mean, if they would just communicate, he would know why she was late, but that's neither here nor there. Cam invited Tay, Rocky, and Hussein. We don't really see him, so it's hard for me to remember his name. Excuse me, Steffi. But anyway, he invites him to his house. Now, that actually really may be his house, okay? Unlike somebody else. But we'll get there. They have a little game night or game day because it was still sunny. Rocky bought the liquor to get the party started, okay? And then they have a questions game. And Hussein's question was, where's your favorite place to be kissed? He said on his neck and on his waistline. I'm not mad at him for answering the question. I'm just mad that the question was even in the bowl. Like, why is the question even there to be asked? I say this every single time. I don't like when we have like sexual discussions prematurely. Like, I don't even know. Who are y'all? Why am I telling y'all where I want to be kissed? I don't like when we do that too soon, but that's just me personally. Khalil and Deanna back at the gym discuss him going to an African boarding school. He said they use paddles for discipline. I'm not surprised. He is. I feel like it's a cultural thing, so it may not be abnormal over there from, back from what I've heard when I was, dabbling with an African man. But y'all let me know if y'all see anything different. For me, I just see friendship with these two. I really don't see nothing more. I don't see a lot of connections going on. It's still early, though. It's still early. We got to give it time. So over at game night, Tay's question was, what has been a life-defining moment? She said when she graduated, it was a huge accomplishment for her, especially being a Black woman and, her field and her position. It's really rare for Black women to be in that field. So she feels really proud of herself, as she should, okay? Black women, the most educated, okay, out there. And I love that for her. Rocky said, look, Tay took it up high, but I'm going to bring it down low. And everybody was like, to spill it, girl. And she was like, look, when I was in my 20s, I lost my job and I had to turn to the streets. So she had to start selling pharmaceuticals. I don't know how long she was searching for another job before she turned to the streets. I mean, I appreciate her transparency, but I must say I'm not surprised. It didn't shock me. I was like, okay, and what else is going on? But okay. Cam said that he was struggling, he was on food stamps and he was dealing with depression, and his niece is what kept him going. And I said, okay, for the opening up of it all, this group don't mind talking. Okay. The people don't mind sharing, more the women than the men, but I digress. True arrived, better late than never, child. And she said she was late due to work. She came in, she said, oh, duty calls or whatever. Naeem immediately said, what took you so long? I don't know if he didn't hear her. And True said, I said work. Are you not understanding? Now, me, myself, I too hate repeat myself. Like, I hate it passionately. I do not like repeating myself at all. But True, relax. Okay. She came in hot. Like, I mean, he just didn't hear you, girl. Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that deep. Like, all right. But they both was going at each other. I said both of them a little petty. True asked, how long was the circuit? And Naeem said, how long were you late? I said, oh, honey, this is not going to be a good match. It wasn't going to work. If it wasn't for the phone number, it was going to be something else. This is not a good fit. True claims that she hasn't heard from Naeem. He's still mad about the Google Doc number. And I said, Lord have mercy, my God, today. It is a Google Voice number. Google Docs is what you upload when you on your computer. It's okay. It's okay. It's a Google Voice number, honey. Just for future reference, in case you ever have this issue again, Naeem. So he said she texted him a bunch of question marks, like 3 question marks. How was he supposed to respond to that? Because she's like, I don't care what it was. You still could have said something. How was he supposed to respond to that? I wouldn't have responded either. Because what do you expect for me to say to that? She was, in her confessional explaining how entrepreneurs have different numbers. Again, she could have just said, look, I'm a woman. It's for safety reasons. And if he don't like that, then that's his problem. She could have just said, I don't know you like that. It's for safety concerns. I can't be too careful. And that could have been the end of it. Does she really have to go into detail as to why? No, but since it was upsetting him, she could have, and they could have moved forward, but they didn't. But I say, as a woman, be safe, be cautious. Don't keep mentioning the fact that he didn't call you either. Like, you ain't really want him to have your number like that. He said he tried to call, it just didn't work. Like, it's just not, y'all don't mesh, and that's that. Now, me, listen, with all this stuff going on with some of these men, some not all. I've seen women lose their lives over not giving up a phone number, or they call because they'll call you as soon as you give them the number. Some of them, if they like that, they'll call you while you standing right there to make sure. And if they hear the leave your name after the beep, it's gonna be a problem. I feel like, look, if you feel uncertain, just give your real number, and when he calls and you get home, just block it. Just block it, because it's not even worth the fight. She keeps saying he hasn't contacted her. It sounds like he did, though. It sounds like he did contact you. And you responded with question marks. So I mean, I don't know. So then her phone rang, and he said, is that the real number or the fake number? And she immediately stormed off. And I said, oh, thank goodness. I'm so tired of this conversation. I am glad she walked off. So then, still at the gym, Sahara is talking to Fritz, and she feels like he put her in the friend zone. And she said he texted her and said, like, hey, friend, and he would, like, copy and paste the same message multiple days in a row. And then he texted her one time and was like, yo. And she was like, I wanted to be like, yo, like, what's up? Girl, sisters, my sisters, please stop begging these men to communicate with you effectively. If they not doing it, just move on. Like, please. What? Oh, I saw a work ping, and anyway. So I'm like, please, if you feel like you're in a friend zone, then you are. Okay. Just move on. There's other men. There's other people here. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. Fritz always does have an excuse though, because she was like, yeah, you copy and pasted the same 3 messages the very next day. And he was like, I'm consistent. He could go for me. He really could go. I would have kept Will and got rid of Fritz. I don't see it for him. I'm sorry. Fritz was saying that Sahara's personality was too much. She's too loud. She's aggressive and all these negative things. Now, her personality is a lot. But like I said last week, it ain't too much for the person that's for her. Okay, because we're going to see that with Cam a little bit later. Like, it's too much for you, but it's not too much for the person that's for her. Now, could it be a lot? Sure. Do I think she's aggressive? Absolutely not. I don't think she's aggressive. I think she was expressing herself like, hey, I don't want a friendship. I'm ready to love. I'm not here looking for friendship. And since you don't like what she was saying and you ain't like who was saying it, if you like who was saying it, you wouldn't care. You would think it was spicy and cute. You ain't like who was saying it, so you felt like it was aggressive. I don't think it was aggressive. So True and Khalil chat, and they're saying how they're dating with intentions. And then Khalil asks if True has kids. She doesn't. And he was like, well, how many do you want? She was like, however many my husband want. Girl, don't be having however many he want. Have however many you want. just listen to what I'm saying, because it sounds cute until you start having them. So then he asked her age, and she said, I'm grown, like mid-grown, like middle-aged grown. Like, girl, what's going on? What is this? We know what age range you in because you applied for this show. You can only be in a certain age to be on the show. But what age are you exactly? Now, at the mixer, they had listed her age as 35. She's clearly 45, if you ask me. 45 or up. It's okay. Like, you want to give your industry age? Fine. I didn't know women were still, I didn't know it was taboo to tell your age. Like, I thought we was past that. Like, it is what it is. Especially Black women. Because I feel like, okay, she might be 65 and look 40. Like, you just never know. Like, now I know can have like a stigma, especially because she doesn't have kids and maybe she doesn't want him to be concerned. Like, well, are you out of that childbearing age or whatever? But we know now with technology, things of that nature, people can. Ashanti was on Tamara Hall's show, and Ashanti told me she had her son at 43, and Tamara said she had her son at 48. Now, Lord, that's a blessing I don't ever want to receive. Okay, never, please, Lord. From my lips to your ears. Never. But it can happen. It can be done. Okay. Especially for women who are holding out, wait until they marry before they carry. Okay, it can happen. But it's just the fact that she lied. It just made her look like a sneaky liar. And I understand her one privacy, things of that nature. You're on a dating show. Like, you signed up for this. If you that secretive and don't go on no dating show, you're on a dating show. Nobody made you apply for the show and sign up and show up. Since you're here dating, like, just be honest. Because at what point you don't want to tell him the day? At some point you got to tell him your age. Even though Lil Scrappy over there on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta said that he married Bambi and didn't know how old she was. Child. So Cam and Rose have a one-on-one date. I said we started one-on-one dates early. Thank goodness. Rose unfortunately says she's been cheated on by every man she's been with. But she hasn't given up on love. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Rose. That's tough. Because people act like, oh, a man will be a man and all this stuff is just a little cheating. And as long as he come home. No, cheating is a lot. And it really does affect you. It does something to your mental. Like, it takes a lot out of you. And for it to happen every time you're in a relationship, I don't know. I might have been taking a little break from dating. But shout out to Rose for still looking for love. Cam, he has on an ankh necklace, if you know what I'm talking about, that little cross he had on. And I said, oh, girl, He might take you on the ride of your life. Watch out. Okay. So Rose is excited because he held her hand while she was praying, talking about he prayed with me. No, he just sat there while you prayed, but okay. Because he knows it's important to you. And she like, oh, well, we might be, stop trying to get him to come to your side. He told you he's not religious or spiritual, honey. He don't really get into that. So don't be surprised later on. Now, I had asked who was turning around talking about, I'm not religious and all that stuff. But he didn't say that until years later. He didn't initially, if you told me up front, see, that's why they do that. Because then if you let me know up front, it wouldn't have been no years later. But he's letting you know right off rip what time it is. So don't you go around trying to make it something that it's not. He said it ain't that. It more than likely won't work if y'all have different religious beliefs. I know sometimes it happens. A lot of times it don't. And there's always an exception to the rule, but I wouldn't be going around trying to be no exception to nothing. So Fritz is having a pool party at his house. Angie asked if this is his forever home. He said it's temporary. It's just him, and that's just too much house. Yeah, it's temporary because you got the Airbnb for a day, so you got to be out of there by tomorrow. So it's temporary. Yes. I don't know why he stood up there and told that story, but okay. Eddie said Angie was showing wifey qualities because he was on the grill and she was bringing out food, and I said, "Is that all it takes?" Okay, I guess. Fritz pulled Shanice into the pool. Like, he let her know. He ain't just, because I don't like when people just throw people in the pool. You don't know if they can swim or nothing. I don't like that. But he let her know she was down for it. In full glam, honey, with clothes on. Clothes about to be soaking wet, sticking to you like heavy rocks and glue. And ooh. Shout out to her for like going with the flow, because it would never have been me. No, baby, don't do that. I don't like that. I'm getting my legs in there, and if I want to get in there, it's because I walk into the pool. You ain't about to pull me into nothing. But I digress. I just wanted to remind y'all that Eddie and Cisco was at this event. Okay, a little eye candy for the ladies, if you will. So Coley calls out Fritz for following #PolyLifestyle on IG. Mind you, I was today years old when I found out you could follow hashtags. I would not have known to, first of all, look for that. Like, I didn't know you could see what hashtags people are following. And I definitely didn't know you could follow hashtags. Something I won't be doing because you don't know who's looking like holy. And he's like, oh, so you think that I align with that? Like, those are my beliefs. Yeah, she does. That's why she brought it up. And he was like, I follow NASA. I've never been to space. You don't got to go to space to follow NASA. They going. That's why you following them. I follow chefs and I don't cook. Maybe you trying to learn the recipe or two. Like, let's not play these games, Fritz. Like, let's not, like, yeah, you might follow something because you're just interested. For me, if I'm interested, I might look it up and then go on about my day. I'm not going to follow it. For me to follow it, like, I really have interest in it. So don't act like you just following stuff just for the sake of, no. You following that poly lifestyle because you're interested in it. Just say that. But this ain't the type of show for that. This is the type of show where they focus on monogamy, so you couldn't get away with it over here. So Kiera shared with the group that her children's father was her high school sweetheart. She thought they was going to get married. Women especially, and I'm just talking to y'all because, I'm a woman. Y'all share me out when y'all say y'all thought he was going to marry somebody. Did he ask? If somebody didn't propose with a ring, like, how did you think I was about to get married? Like, you had 2 kids. Did he ask if you wanted to get married? Why did you think that? Because he just said it? Because I could talk about hitting the lottery tonight. And, Lord willing, if it happens, if it's in your will. But anyway, that don't mean nothing. Okay. So she said that he cheated on her. I said, Lord have mercy. Are there any faithful men in Philly? Where are the faithful men in Philadelphia? Where are you? I guess I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. So she said that he got a lot of time. He was a pro boxer, but he got a lot of time in prison. I wonder what the charge was, honey. And she said he'd been incarcerated for 6 years and he's getting out soon. I said, uh-oh. Flag on the play. Ding, ding, ding. If I was a man, I would be concerned. What you mean? He about to get out soon. Because it's cool. It's easy to be like, I ain't worried about him when he's locked up and they won't let him out. But now he's about to get released. I want to see how this co-parenting dynamic transpires once he's out from behind them bars. Okay. Naeem found this attractive. Okay. He said he's attracted to the fact that Kiara is a single Black mother. And he ties that with him being adopted. I hate to sound insensitive, but where's the correlation? What does her being a single mother got to do with you being adopted? Like, what? You should have said, I can identify with that because I make single mothers all around the city. That's what you should have said. Because you've done this, you understand how it is. You can identify with that. Yeah, because you did it with 3 women. Like, you made 3 women single mothers. You did it 3 times over with 5 children. So if I was a single mother, I would be watching out. Okay, but that's just me. Jay and Coley have a golfing date. He said initially she wasn't his type. Like, he thought she was like some spoiled daddy's girl. How did you get that? I'm telling you, you could just walk into the room and people just be making assumptions. Because did she say anything about her daddy? Where you get that from? Because she had that clip in her hair? Like, where did you get that? So she said she initially wasn't into men with children. This is just a side note. I need Jay to invest in that Korean skincare that I be seeing all over TikTok. Invest into some Korean skincare, especially with the summer months coming up. Anyway. Also, I say this as a mother of 2 myself. If you don't want to date nobody with children, don't. It's okay. If you don't got to change your mind because every man here has children for the most part. And there's some that don't. Like, she could easily talk to the men that don't. Every man that actually on the show doesn't have children. I'm not going to just be like, oh, but now, unless you really want to be with that person and you're like, I want to take on everything that comes with you and I love your kids. But if it ain't that, if you're not mentally prepared and ready to be with somebody, including children, it takes a lot. And I hate when people, especially women, like, I'll be pick me so bad, just want to be getting a man so bad. Oh, I just need you to just worry about me. You don't got to worry about my kids. My kids are taken care of. How in the hell is somebody going to be with you and not worry about your kids when they're your kids, especially unless they're adult children? Then they should be worrying about your kids. What are you going to do if we get seriously get married? You going to ignore my kids? You going to act like they're not in the house? You going to act like they don't exist? How are you not going to worry about my children, even though my children are taken care of? If you want to be in this equation, you're going to be a part of that. Just like if he has kids, you're going to be a part of whatever he's dealing with. You can't treat his kids any kind of way. You got to take them kids on like they're yours. Or don't do it. Just be like, look. If he got a pet and you don't like dogs, don't like cats, what are you doing it for? Don't do it. So no, if you really don't want to do it, if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't date nobody with children. As you get older, it is harder because the dating pool is going to shrink. But if you really don't want that, then don't do it. Don't be bending now, especially because he don't got a child. He got a couple of kids, so yeah. Then he asked if sex is important to her, and she's like, "What are you talking? Like, what do you mean?" And he was like, "Is it important? How are you going to be in a relationship and it's not? I don't know." But she was like, "Look, yeah, it is, but I ain't giving my cookie away to everybody." And I said, "Okay, good answer, because how I feel about this conversation." But I mean, he ain't like linger on it. It didn't get inappropriate, so okay. So the men meet in the vault to deliberate. Everybody like everybody. Like, we ain't really hone in on nobody. Naeem mentioned that Kiara is a little hood. That's why he like her. Don't you be saying you like me, because you like that I'm a little hood. I don't like that. Excuse you? Anyway. So True and Sahara in the bottom. Sahara meets with Cam and Khalil meets with True. Khalil mentioned he said some of the men didn't like, the fact that you were giving out fake phone numbers or whatever. And she was like, Naeem, he's the only one. He's the one and only. Just Naeem and Naeem alone and nobody else. I said, oh, she shut that down immediately. She was getting the best of him. I said, ooh. I don't know if he was ready. She working him all over that room, honey. He mentioned age gate. And she said, did anybody ask? Anybody ask me my age? Girl, he asked. He's the one who asked. What? You forgot? You're gonna have to start writing stuff down. I know for me, as I get older, my memory, I be forgetful too. So sometimes you gotta like make a little mental note, like what they asking about my age, and put it in your phone when you leave, so you are prepared next time. So she made him ask her again. He already asked and you ain't want to tell. I ain't asking nothing again. I asked you the first time. I don't care now, girl. You better go home. But he asked again, and she said 35, allegedly. So, and they was like, well, see how easy that was? But who cares now? And I don't care what y'all talking about. Yes, she carries older. Yes, she presents older. That lady is not 35. I don't care. I mean, in my opinion. So Cam tells Sahara that she needs to show a softer side, and that's why she giving homie vibes. And at first she was like, I don't know what they talking about. I'm about to self-eliminate. And he was able to bring her down. See, that's the type of that's what she needs. She listened, and she got her soft feminine air. She said, okay, you're right, I will, okay. And see, the right man will pull that out. If you feel safe, you're gonna be soft. The women that y'all say so manly and all this stuff, like masculine, the right man gonna pull that softness out you, okay? But she calmed right down. So I see potential there. The vibe is different, her energy is different with him, and he said he don't mind. Like he like that. He like that feistiness. True got very defensive when she got eliminated. I said Naeem is the one. Him and his 5 kids is the reason behind this. You didn't mind his 5 kids when you was Panini pressed about him calling and texting you. Because I don't know. I wouldn't have gave him no number once I heard 5 kids, and 3 baby mamas. But I mean, you did, and you was concerned when you gave him that Google Doc number. Kelly was like, look, he wasn't the only one who put you on the bottom. I too threw you at the bottom. And she said, there are women here older than me. It don't matter. They ain't going around lying about their age, though. And you are. Allegedly, whatever. So he was like, you want to cheers? And she had a little too. And she's like, and when is the food coming? He don't work there. How he supposed to know when y'all food coming? Did you see him go in the back? Girl, what? And she was like, I'll say, like, I'm going to sit. And she made him leave without his food. I would have waited in the car and been like, pack mine up to go. I ain't even nothing. She said them producers going to pay for one last meal for getting rid of her. You heard me. Next week, we see it look like the men are doing the eliminations again. What's going on here? Why do I see the men in the vault again? But, Cam ain't playing about Sahara now. I can't wait to see that. That's where the episode ends. It's a slow burn right now, but we got to build these relationships up. If y'all want real, authentic, genuine connections and not connections for play, and for games, it's a slow build. But we're going to keep watching. I really do still love Ready to Love. So, I'm going to be back here next week. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Be sure to like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.